Okay, welcome this evening, today, Monday, February 12th, 2024, to the regular business meeting of the Board of Education. Please join us in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I just want to remind everyone in the audience that there's two exits at the rear of the auditorium, as well as exits at each side of the stage, and one in the rear of the stage. I'm going to quickly introduce the dais. All the way to my left, I have Trustee Tasneem Megji, and then I have Trustee Len Hirsch, I have Trustee David Keefe, I have Board Vice President Bob Fallerino, I'm Board President Mark Hamburg. To my right is Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Danielle Gately. We then have our Deputy Superintendent of Schools, Ms. Then we have our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Personnel, Mr. Ed Kemitzer. We have our District's Attorney and our District Clerk. If anyone is here this evening to approach the board, we just simply ask that you fill out a slip that's on the piano and return that to the District Clerk. We have two open times. The first open time is for agenda items only, and the second open time is for anything that anybody wants to ask. So with that, we will start with our student representative.
Hello everyone, my name is Lauren Shin and I'm a junior at Wheatley. The month of January has been a very productive and busy, ending the first semester and beginning the third quarter. Students worked diligently studying and scoring high on their midterms during Wheatley's midterm week. Last week, the senior class of 2024 held the famous Varsity Review Show, a satirical performance where students played out various scenarios of their daily school lives, filmed TikToks with teachers, and even ended off with an all-boys dance to trendy songs. It was a hit. Right before the Super Bowl this past weekend, Student Senate held a jersey dress-up day for the students and faculty, where everyone dressed up in an athletic jersey of their choice. In spirit of the Valentine's Day season, some of our clubs have been having wonderful sales. Student Equality Club held a sweetheart sale where candygrams were sent with sweet, anonymous messages with love to peers. And on Wednesday morning, our Music Honor Society will be holding their annual flower sale and delivering carnations to fellow classmates, teachers, and Wheatley staff. Looking ahead, the annual Orchestra of Long Island concert will be this Thursday, where Wheatley Orchestra and band students will play alongside professional musicians. Students have been preparing for this concert for weeks and also have been receiving coaching from adult musicians from the Orchestra of Long Island. Next week is our February break, which will be a nice rest for both students and faculty. Additionally, on March 11th, Wheatley's Triad Music Honor Society will be holding Wheatley's Got Talent, which is a competition between students as they display their talents to the voting audience. That event will kick off Showdown, which will last that entire week. Student Senate has been working hard to plan this exciting and spirited event. Thank you and have a great evening.
Okay. Wow, that moves us right into the superintendent's report.
Great. Thank you, Lauren. Great job. All right. I'd like to start by wishing a very happy Lunar New Year to those who celebrated this past weekend. And we'll jump right into hearing from some of our students, starting with a fourth grader who received an award today for her poem, and Ms. Pandolf is going to introduce her and her work.
Sure.
Hello. I am thrilled to be up here to introduce Maggie Rubin. Maggie Rubin is a fourth grade poet who was honored earlier today as she won second place in the fourth grade category of Raynham Hall's Valentine's Day Poetry Contest. Maggie's poem, The Love Song, was found to be exceptional, and she won second place out of 101 poems. Maggie, we would be honored to have you up here to read your poem for all of us to enjoy.
You know, Dad, you can come up closer if you want to get a better picture.
The love song. I stopped. My cheeks turned red, my eyes widened. I felt like I was a balloon about to burst. I couldn't listen anymore. I was in a daze. It felt like a deck of cards toppling over. It felt like a bee buzzing over a lake. It felt like laying on a cloud. It felt like I was a raindrop tumbling down to the cold, wet earth. It felt like a rainbow after the rain. It felt like a connection. It felt like love.
Thank you so much.
Maggie, that was wonderful, and it's certainly apropos to share this week in honor of Valentine's Day. You did a great job. All right, next, Miss Faith Tripp, our Director of World Languages and ENL, is going to share a recent recognition of our Spanish Club board members.
Good evening, everyone. We're very excited to have almost every member of the Spanish board here with us tonight, the Spanish Club board, excuse me. So the Wheatley Spanish Club held its first annual movie night fundraiser. Spanish Club co-presidents Ria Verma and Lana Kale, along with their board composed of Emma Novak, Gia Verma, Allison Yam, and Brandon Katz, under the supervision of Miss Senora Martinez, organized a wonderful event for all the Wheatley students where they showed the film The Book of Life. They asked for a $5 donation for any student who was in attendance at the show that evening, and they made a donation of $135 to the Hispanic Counseling Center. So all of the proceeds from their first annual fundraiser were donated to the Hispanic Counseling Center, and they got the idea from their wonderful advisor, Mrs. Martinez, as well as Senora Principe Franco, who often comes in and supports the Spanish Club with them. So tonight we have here Lana, Gia, Emma, Allison, who did I leave out? Brandon's not here, and Senora Martinez. So I invite you all to come forward and have your certificate.
Come on, girls. Come on.
And they're very excited. They're very excited, and they've already agreed to partner up with the Spanish, Italian, and French clubs to work on a family game night in coordination with the Multicultural Initiatives Committee. So we're working on that for the spring, so stay tuned. That's their next fundraising effort.
Excellent. Anywhere you want.
Usually you block us, and it's perfect.
Congratulations. Great job, everyone. Okay, and next up for our next round of student celebrations, I invite up Miss Stacy Weinberg to share some CyberCat robotic fun.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to share a bit about our high school and middle school robotics program. I'm just going to pull up some graphics because who doesn't want to see kids' faces? So this weekend, the Willis Road robotics team, the Crimson Titans, participated in a regional competition at Huntington High School. The Titans and their coach, Miss Liz Reale, and student coaches from the Wheatley Cybercats, Lauren Gong and Ari Young, were highly competitive as they competed against 20 other teams. The team demonstrated a strong robotics build and presented a highly innovative community project. We're excited to see the Titans compete later this spring in a local competition against other middle school teams, and Wheatley is looking forward to welcoming their rising 7th graders to the Cybercats. So those are just some pictures from their community presentation on the bottom, and then the top shows actually what the competition looks like, the build portion. Each year there's a bit of a theme, and those challenges change year by year. And because who doesn't love a robotics opportunity? The Wheatley Cybercats, our team here at Wheatley, March 3rd through 7th is heading to Knoxville, Tennessee to compete in the Smoky Mountain Regional. And then when they return back in March, at the end of March, the 20th to the 23rd, we will send them to the Long Island Regional, which we're super excited about. Some of our Willits Road students will be able to attend as a little bit of a STEM field trip, so we're excited about that. Each week, the Cybercats post a week in recap because the season is 12 short weeks, and they start from nothing and end up with a super competitive robot. So this is just week 5's recap that we wanted to show you.
Turn it up! Somebody save your soul, 'cause you've been sinning in the city. I know too many troubles, all these lovers got you losing control. You like a drug to me, a luxury, my sugar and gold. I want the good life every good night, you're a hot one to hold. 'Cause you don't even know I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap. Somebody save your soul, 'cause you've been sinning in the city. I know too many troubles, all these lovers got you losing control. You like a drug to me, a luxury, my sugar and gold. I want your sex and your affection when they're holding you close. 'Cause you don't even know I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap. Every night when the stars come out, am I the only living soul around?
So from scratch to week 5, and our coach, Mr. Reynolds, is here in the back, so thank you, Mr. Reynolds. And our kids are actually in the production lab now, still preparing, so thanks for your ongoing support of our program.
It's great, amazing. On the same token, we will share that our annual district STEAM night is coming up on February 29th from 6:30 to 8:30 right here at the Wheatley School. The theme this year is Safari. Safari goers will build, fly, code, explore, experiment, paint, create, and so much more. No RSVP is required. However, there are some events that are ticketed, so please look out for the parent square from Mrs. Weinberg about the details surrounding those events. Lots of exciting technology happening. We celebrated last week PS I Love You Days across the Willits Road School and the Wheatley School. It is the second Friday of every year. Students and staff were invited to wear purple in support of the mental health efforts in each building. It is the most wonderful time of the year. Budget season is coming, so I'll just share a brief overview of the dates and the topics that will be discussed at each workshop. So the first budget workshop is Wednesday, February 28th. There we will share the recommended budget overview, including the administrative, program, and capital components, as well as a presentation from Dr. Mazza and about the Student Support Services budget for next year. Following that, Wednesday, March 6th, we will share fund balance, ENL, athletics, and technology and innovation. Budget workshop number 3 will be Wednesday, March 13th. There we will hear from each of our building principals, and we will have our final budget work session at the regular business meeting of the Board of Education, which is on a Tuesday in March, so please note the change, and that's Tuesday, March 19th. Budget adoptions will be Monday, April 8th. Okay, just a quick reminder, as I have done every month, that we are hosting a parent threat assessment workshop on March 12th at 7 p.m. Our presenter has asked for adults only, so please leave your children home. This is a presentation appropriate for parents. As Lauren mentioned earlier, Orchestra Long Island, the concert will be this Thursday, February 16th, right here in the auditorium at 7 p.m. Looking ahead, March 4th are the Winter Sports Awards, 7 p.m. right here. And the most exciting day in March is Really Books Alive, and that's happening on March 15th at the Northside School. So as you all know, tomorrow is a snow day, the first snow day in a few years. So this emergency weather day means that school will be open on Tuesday, May 28th, and that's the Tuesday following Memorial Day. The Willits Road concert has been moved to Wednesday, originally planned for tomorrow. Now it will be on Valentine's Day, and you should have received an email from Ms. Dragon and Dr. Clapper about the details surrounding this change. Also being moved is the First in Math and Kiddo Yo parent presentation for our Northside students. That has been moved from tomorrow to February 27th at 7 p.m., and that will be at the Northside School. And as we understand it, voting will take place as planned unless any changes are made by the Board of Elections. So certainly you can check with them, but as we understand it, voting will happen and go on as planned. And that concludes the superintendent's report. I'd like to wish you all a very calm and relaxing February break, and we look forward to seeing you back soon.
Thank you, Superintendent. That brings us to the board report. There's just one bullet on the agenda this evening, which is continuing effort to bring our committee meetings and sharing the updates accordingly. Since our last board meeting, there was an EAC. So, Ms. Megji, do you want to share with the public?
Sure. The Education Advisory Committee met on Tuesday, January 24th, as Mr. Kramberg said, for its second meeting of the year. To begin the meeting, Ed Chemnitzer presented and discussed the new courses that will be offered to students at the Wheatley School for the 2024-2025 school year. Following a productive discussion and analysis of the new courses and how they reflect the goals of the strategic plan, Mr. Wayne Jensen and Ms. Santoro presented the growth of and plans for the district's real-world learning program. In their presentation, Mr. Jensen and Ms. Santoro highlighted the factors shaping the real-world learning program, how the program speaks to the recommendations of the Blue Ribbon Commission, the goals for developing connections for students to establish opportunities for internships and service learning, and the specifics of the new course titled Lead at the Wheatley School. Here, and if you would like to see them, there are, the Google Slides presentation is on the website.
Thank you, Ms. Megji. Any other updates from any of the board members? No? Great, thank you. So we'll move into the information items. As the public knows, the district policies are constantly under review, where we have an opportunity to have those reviews in public and the reads accordingly. Tonight, we are taking a second read, starting with policy 5300.65, visitors to schools. Since our last meeting, I believe, was there any requests from any board members?
Visitors to schools, yes. So I have a question about paragraph 8, where it states that student visitors from other schools, unless they're authorized to participate in the district-sponsored event or otherwise have a specific reason and prior approval of their superintendent or his or her designee. I just want to know if we need that sentence or otherwise have a specific reason, because I think if they have permission from our superintendent, that's all we should be concerned with.
Mr. Sheehan?
So there's no need for that sentence. It is existing language. It is within the discretion of the board to delete that provision. You could delete after, starting with or otherwise, and through to the shall, if the board so desires.
Any other comments or questions from the board?
I have a question if I can, Mr. Sheehan. With regard to the policy itself, and I know we have a second reading of regulation, but there's some regulatory of how it's set up language that I might want you to look at a little bit and give advice and counsel on. Do we have to, can we move on the actual policy and leave the regulation until the next meeting, or do we have to do it together?
So before the board is 5300.65, visitors to schools. That's what is under consideration at this meeting. So you can have, if you have regulations. Regulations can be separate.
And I would like you to take a look at the regulation in terms of implementation of one of the issues and give us advice and counsel on that as I discussed with you before the meeting.
Sure. With respect to paragraph 8, I will strike starting with or otherwise through to shall, and I will provide the Board of Education with advice of counsel as to trustees' question.
That's correct. Unless any of the board members disagree, that will be the way I'll be taking the second read this evening. Any other discussion on 5300.65? Seeing no further discussion from the board, I'm going to turn to the public. Anyone in the public on policy 5300.65? Mr. Williston.
Ron Rolson, President, East Williston Teachers Association. We have a concern about paragraph number 5. Paragraph number 5 removes all mention of teachers, any discussion with teachers, any mention of teachers, any consultation with teachers about parent visitors to the classroom. We would urge the board and their council to include teachers in that paragraph in some way, with at least having the consultation of teachers. It allows for an administrator, without any conversation with the teacher, to invite a parent in and visit a classroom without a teacher ever knowing that. While I don't think it's the intention of the administrators in this district to do that, I believe that it's kind of short-sighted to not include teachers in that discussion.
So you're referring to
Paragraph
the
5.
second line, the strikeout are required to arrange such visits with, and that the rest of that language there, is that what you're referring to, the strikeout there?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And Mr. Sheehan, one of the things I've asked you to address is with regard to regulations, if there's something we can accomplish there that will accomplish to address some of those concerns from that, the open authority and the policy itself.
You know, I understand the concern, and I'll provide advice to the board.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Seeing no further comments, that will close the second read on 5300.65. Going to take the second read on regulations 1500-R, use of school buildings and grounds for activities other than those initiated by the school system. Comments from the board?
That was the item that I just addressed.
Any other comments from the board? Seeing no further comments from the board, I'm going to turn to the public, 1500-R. Seeing no comments from the public, I'm going to close the second read on that as well. Thank you for that. That brings us to open time. Do we have any slips this evening? Okay, thank you. There's always a second open time at the end of the meeting. That's going to bring us to the action items. I'm going to group action items 3.1 and 3.2 together. May I have a second? Mr. Keefe, discussion? Seeing and hearing no discussion, we'll call for the vote. All in favor? Mr. Hirsch, I can't see your hand. Were you in favor? Yes, thank you. Items pass 5-0. Thank you. Items 3.3 to 3.4, taking into consideration the change that Ms. Megji just made and for further consideration in regards to what Ms. Wilson.
Do that, and ask for table this to the next meeting, and we'll get advice and counsel on this one.
Is there a second on the table? Mr. Keefe? All in favor? 5-0. I thought I saw your hand up. I'm sorry. I'll take the vote again. All in favor? motion to table, is that still your request?
That is not my request. I want to go back to item 3.3, Mr. Sheehan pointed out that that is,
If you want me to clarify?
yes.
Yes, so I was asked by trustee Fallerino to prepare regulations for 5300.65, which is visitors to school, which I will provide to the Board of Education for review. So with respect to 3.4, there's no basis to table that item. We'll prepare regulations that will apply to 5300.65. Is that correct, Mr. Fallerino?
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you for the clarification, Mr. Sheehan. So 3.3, the vote will stay as is unless there's a request to do something different. I don't see that request. Thank you. So I'll move to 3.4, and I'll try again. May I have a second on 3.4? Mr. Hirsch, discussion? Seeing and hearing no discussion, call for the vote. All in favor? Item passes 5-0. Thank you. 3.5 by itself, may I have a second? Mr. Fallerino, discussion? Seeing and hearing no discussion, call for the vote. All in favor? Item passes 5-0. Thank you. I am going to group items 3.6 to 3.7 together. May I have a second? Mr. Fallerino? Discussion? Seeing and hearing no discussion from the board, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor? Items pass 5-0. Thank you. I am grouping items 3.8 to 3.12 together. May I have a second? Mr. Fallerino, discussion. Just certainly want to acknowledge the donation in item number 3.12 and thank them accordingly. Any other discussion? Seeing and hearing no discussion, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor? Items pass 5-0. Thank you. We'll take 3.13 by itself. May I have a second? Mr. Fallerino, discussion? Seeing and hearing no discussion, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor? Item passes 5-0. Thank you. 3.14 to 3.18. May I have a second? Mr. Fallerino, discussion? Seeing no discussion, call for the vote. All in favor? Items pass 5-0. Thank you. 3.19 to 3.20. May I have a second? Ms. Maggi, discussion? Seeing and hearing no discussion, call for the vote. All in favor? Items pass 5-0. Thank you. I have a walk-on item, item number 3.21. Approved for nomination for Nassau BOCES Board of Education. Resolved that the Board of Education of the East Williston Union Free School District hereby nominate the following individual for a 3-year term on the Nassau BOCES Board of Education commencing July 1st, 2024, with that individual being Susan Bertrand. May I have a second? Mr. Keefe, look at those hands go up. Discussion, Ms. Bertrand, who I know is in the audience. It's always our honor to nominate you and, of course, to have you serve on behalf of us and districts all across Nassau County. We appreciate your continuing nonstop effort and work towards the children all across the county, and it does not go unnoticed, and we thank you for that. Any other discussion? Mr. Keefe?
Just quickly, whatever Mr. Camberg said to you as a second, I'll second it, I'll double it. I've seen you in action at all of our BOCES Budget Committee meetings.
Is that on the record? Any other discussion? Seeing and hearing no further discussion, call for the vote. All in favor? Item passes 5-0. Thank you very much. Grouping items 11.1, excuse me, 4.1 to 4.3. 4.1 to 4.3. May I have a second? Ms. Maggi? Discussion? Seeing and hearing no discussion, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor? Items pass 5-0, thank you. Taking item 5.1 by itself, may I have a second? Ms. Maggi, discussion? Seeing and hearing no discussion, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor? Item passes 5-0, thank you. 6.1 by itself, may I have a second? Mr. Keefe, discussion? Seeing and hearing no discussion, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor? Item passes 5-0, thank you. 7.1 through 7.5, it's my understanding that one of our appointees are in the audience this evening. If the vote goes well, which I believe it will, we'll just ask that you stand and we will welcome you. Thank you for coming down this evening. So may I have a second on item number 7.1 through 7.5? Well, that's a lot of seconds. Wow, I never saw that before. Mr. Hirsch, any other discussion? We believe, Ms. Oki, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Okoye, thank you so much. We believe you will find East Williston to be a very special place, and I look forward with a positive vote to welcoming you to our district. Is there any other discussion on 7.1 to 7.5? See no further discussion, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor? Items pass 5-0. Congratulations and welcome. Just give a wave. Okay, that brings us to the second open time. Do we have any slips? Anyone want to speak? No? Okay, seeing no one approach the board, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn. May I have a second? Mr. Keefe, all in favor? 5-0. Thank you very much. Have a very healthy and safe break.
Be safe tomorrow, everybody.